Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Today, we need to talk about something really unsettling. Robyn Brown has openly admitted that she's made some serious mistakes as a mother. Specifically, that she's allowed her children to be around a man who is emotionally unstable and unsafe. And yes, she said this herself while talking with Cody. Now, if you know Robyn, you know she has a habit of calling other people unsafe. It's her go-to phrase to shut down conversations she doesn't want to have, especially when criticism starts creeping in. But here's the thing. She's never really used the word unsafe to describe Cody, and yet he's arguably the most unsafe person in their entire family. So, hearing her call Cody emotionally unsafe is, well, it's shocking, and it speaks volumes. At first glance, this scene might seem like a touching aha moment for Cody, a realization, maybe even a little redemption arc. But if you look closer, it's actually a red flag. This is an emotionally unhealthy dynamic, where loyalty is being weaponized. Cody rewards Robyn for compliance, punishes her for speaking her truth, and manipulates her through fear. Robyn should know by now that stepping out of line or criticizing him comes with consequences. And sadly, her continued obedience isn't just affecting her, it's putting her children at risk. Cody's hostility, unpredictable moods, verbal and emotional abuse, and infidelity create an unsafe environment. By staying with him, Robyn's children remain exposed to all of this. And she even acknowledges it in her own words, saying things like, "Yes, please. Regarding you and me, the only thing I've pulled away from is when you're emotionally unsafe." For years, Robyn has blamed anyone who called out Cody, labeling them as unsafe. But now, finally, she names the truth. Cody is emotionally unsafe. He has rage issues, unstable moods, and a tendency to blame others while avoiding accountability. He makes Robyn manage his emotions, his behavior, and even the public image of their family. He isolates her from friends and family, controls their schedules, and even tries to dictate her career. Living like this means walking on eggshells every single day, trying to protect yourself from someone whose reactions you can't predict. And the sad truth? Sometimes people respond to this kind of volatility by becoming enablers, defending bad behavior, smoothing over conflicts, and trying to stay out of the line of fire. But what kind of life is that for Robyn? A nice house and money, yes. But at what cost? Emotionally, psychologically, and for her children, the cost is high. And here's the thing that really doesn't add up. Robyn wasn't even part of most of these conversations. So, how can she confidently say that Cody has taken accountability? The women who were there have already said he hasn't. His own children have said he hasn't. He's done nothing meaningful to repair those relationships, especially with his kids. What this tells me is that this so-called apology tour wasn't really about making amends. It was about making himself feel better, and more importantly, proving to Robyn that he's not unsafe. This wasn't about healing others. It was about easing his own conscience and securing her loyalty. And honestly, why does Robyn deserve an apology at all? She spent years defending him, enabling him, and helping create the very behavior she now says is unsafe. If you know your partner is emotionally unsafe and you stay, especially when you have children, you failed to protect them. She once said her ex was unsafe, and here we are years later, repeating the same pattern. You can almost see the relief wash over Cody. It's like, okay, I've taken accountability. Thanks for being loyal. You earned this from me. And that's what's so disturbing. He constantly uses the word loyalty when talking about a whole human being, as if loyalty to him matters more than honesty, self-expression, or basic emotional needs. The way he speaks sounds less like a partnership and more like he's praising a pet, Thank you for your obedience. Thank you for managing my moods. Thank you for smoothing over my conflicts. Thank you for never speaking badly about me. When loyalty is the highest virtue, the woman is rewarded for submission, not for having a voice. Notice this too. Cody never asks Robin how she's feeling. He doesn't show curiosity about her inner world. Robin doesn't seem to exist as a full person outside of Cody. Compare that to the other women who have friends, identities, and lives that don't revolve around keeping him calm. With Cody, happiness requires sacrificing yourself entirely. He never praises Robin for who she is, her kindness, her strength, her parenting, her heart. It's never about her. It's always about him. Christine even said it plainly. Robin is always walking on eggshells. And that's because the only way to be in a relationship with Cody is to stay small and do what he wants. That's not love. It's not healthy. Robin isn't modeling healthy boundaries for her kids, and she has no identity separate from him. Do we ever hear her talk about herself? No. Her entire existence is defending Cody and cleaning up his messes. She may act narcissistic toward the other women, but honestly, that can be a survival tactic. When someone is being emotionally abused, they sometimes redirect that behavior onto others because they can't confront the real source. That happens a lot in polygamy. And still, she clings to him, pledging loyalty, again, like a dog. Meanwhile, he says, I've been apologizing to everybody, even though they were brutal to me. And once again, it's all about him. Cody says, I was apologizing to them, but you were never brutal. You were never unkind. You were never disloyal. I owe you an apology most of all. And honestly, that moment stopped me cold. It genuinely horrified me. After all this talk about taking accountability, he turns around and says the other women were brutal. But Robin wasn't. What he's really doing there is pitting her against the others. He's holding her up as the gold standard because she complied, stayed quiet, and never pushed back. Meanwhile, disagreement, boundaries, and standing up for yourself or your kids get labeled as brutality. That's deeply disturbing. What he's saying, without saying it outright, is that obedience equals goodness, submission equals worth, and anything else, honesty, dissent, self-respect, is cruelty in his eyes. And let's be serious for a moment. He calls Janelle brutal. Janelle, has anyone actually watched this show? Of all the women, Janelle is probably the gentlest. Yes, she was manipulated. Yes, she made mistakes. But she is widely known by viewers and by people who've met her as one of the kindest, most accommodating people imaginable. Over the top nice. To everyone. Robin, on the other hand, often comes across as cold, distant, and guarded. So this idea that Janelle was brutal while Robin was gentle just doesn't line up with reality. It's another example of Cody casting himself as the victim, this time the victim of their so-called cruelty. He praises Robin for standing by him through his rage, his anger, his ranting, behavior she herself has described as scary. And because she endured it, he calls her loyal, which tells us something important. He expected the other women to endure the same treatment. The harshness, the criticism, the emotional abuse, the neglect, the control. But Janelle, Christine, and Meri weren't abusive. They set boundaries. They said no. They refused to be controlled anymore. And eventually, they left because they were done being mistreated. It's still obvious that Christine carries real anxiety when she has to be anywhere near him. So, when Cody says they were brutal, what he really means is this: they stopped tolerating my behavior. And when he praises Robin, what he's saying is, you're amazing because you're willing to live with it. Robin gets rewarded for staying quiet, for staying loyal, while the other women are painted as villains for choosing themselves. That's emotional manipulation. Plain and simple. He's making it clear that loyalty and compliance matter more to him than self-worth, honesty, or even a mother protecting her children. The message to Robin is unmistakable. Your value comes from how well you serve me, not from who you are as a human being. He puts her on a pedestal for being obedient, for absorbing the blows, for never calling him out. She's rewarded for being the emotional punching bag. And let me be very clear. Cody is not an easy man to live with just because he claims to love her the most. What he's really saying is, I love her the most because she doesn't challenge me. He's always said Robin is emotionally safe for him. But now, she said it herself, he is emotionally unsafe for her. So here's the kicker. When Robin tells Cody he's emotionally unsafe, he doesn't run. He doesn't take it seriously. Instead, he pretends he's turned a new leaf by taking what I would call faux accountability. Accountability for nothing. And then, right after this fake apology, he literally calls the other women brutal. Their relationship is transactional, hostile, and abusive. And what does Robin get in return? Social validation, money, and the status of being associated with him. But she doesn't call him out for literally branding his ex-wives as brutal, even though he spent years telling her they are, shaping the story to make her believe it, reminding her constantly how they hurt him. Here's what baffles me. Robin has been trapped and controlled in this relationship, yes, but this is a woman who once vowed she would never allow herself to be in this kind of relationship again. And yet, I would argue that what she has with Cody is far more abusive than what she had with Preston. Preston may have had his flaws, but he wasn't abusive. Cody is. The message that comes through loud and clear is, Robin is okay with being mistreated, as long as she's compensated for it. She's praised for loyalty, rewarded for compliance, and framed as the best, while the other women are villainized. In reality, she just ends up looking like a doormat. And think about the impact on her children. If you grow up in that environment, you don't feel seen. You don't feel protected by your mom or your dad. You can't have a safe, healthy relationship with either parent because a narcissistic parent is constantly controlling and degrading your other parent. Your feelings and opinions are punished. Speaking up can get you labeled as difficult or strong-willed, even if all you're trying to do is defend yourself or your parent. When a mother is absorbed in surviving an abusive partner, she can't fully protect her children. That leaves kids feeling like nobody's looking out for them, like their safety and emotional needs don't matter. Cody is just a jerk. And if Robin has any intelligence or self-respect left, she will get out. For her sake and for her 2 minor children, who could still heal if she walked away. The money and status aren't worth it. Her dignity, self-respect, and the well-being of her children are far more important. Robin has just revealed what she really feels about him, whether she admits it or not. I want to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, besties!